happened last night. And if you went to bed in the third quarter, I'm talking to us East Coast, you have no idea how this thing turned out. Spurs just dominate the fourth. They beat the Lakers 126-102. They outscored them 37-13 in the fourth quarter. Wemby with 23, 8, and 2. Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle each had 23 points, which is amazing. So they're back at 500, which is big. Woohoo! Because that guarantee I made at the beginning of the season for us, it's looking good right now. Wemby averaging 25 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks this season. You know we're going to do a LeBron comparison because that's the world we live in. So LeBron's sophomore season, he averaged 27, 7, and 7. The team finished 42 and 40. Lou, let's compare the two. How do you compare Wemby to LeBron in his sophomore season?
I think he's doing a great job. You know, I think if we're going to do a head-to-head comparison, I still feel like LeBron gets him, you know, just simply based on the expectation level. We know what Wemby is going to be and what he's going to represent in the future. But when LeBron James came in this league, he was the undisputed face of the league. There was no question about it as an 18-year-old kid. So, and you look at the groups, right? You know, LeBron James played with Ilgauskas, Drew Gooden on that group, DeJuan Wagner, Jeff McInnes. These are guys that felt like they could all be the best player on that Cleveland Cavaliers team. And eventually they had to realize that, this 18, 19-year-old kid is going to be the guy that's going to lead us to a lot of success, and we got to follow his lead. So for a young guy to have that type of demand over his teammates and for them to be down with it, that tells you what his impact was at that time. Wemby is still filling out his case, and he's playing with a lot of other young guys. So the two expectation levels are completely different for these two guys. But make no mistake about it, Wemby is he's on the doorsteps of doing something very special in his very young career. Now, I will give him this. Even though LeBron James didn't have a play-in tournament when he was in his second year, if Wemby can get this team into a playoff position by the end of this year, we might be having a different conversation. But at this point, nobody had a rookie sophomore year like LeBron James. I mean, at the end of the day, the guy was already on his second signature shoe in his sophomore year, and it was one of the highest selling shoes. That should tell you what that impact was for LeBron versus a Wemby.
Yeah, it's fun to compare. And again, I think just Wemby's size and skill set and length, we've never seen anything like that. But then you look at LeBron and coming in as a high school student, we haven't seen physicality like him. And it's crazy what Wemby's doing. And again, this team is just going to keep getting better and better. And they've put already some solid pieces around him. Guys like Vassell, Stephon Castle is an unbelievable rookie, probably going to win Rookie of the Year. Keldon Johnson. They have so many of these young guys to grow with him. And then they have a lot of other guys that are watching from a distance, a.k.a. De'Aaron Fox, a.k.a. one of these other guards that would love to come and play with Wemby and kind of be that setup guy for him, be in this San Antonio system. So it's fun to compare. Now, listen, LeBron in 2007, a couple years after being drafted, took arguably the worst team to ever go to the finals, to the finals early on in his career. So can Wemby do that? Can he now take that next? We'll see, but it's a fun argument. And this game last night was a big win for them to be in LA, changing your hotels, being there for so long. They didn't miss a beat and they dominated that second half. This is a big win for them. And it's always fun to see two greats going up against each other. It's crazy to call him a great in his second year, but there's no doubt about it. He is a great and he is going to be a great.
I mean, I kind of felt bad like that. I thought for sure that was going to be a Lakers win, given everything, obviously, that's been going on in the West Coast. So kind of a crazy win to have a fourth quarter like that. But let's talk a little bit about LeBron, because he is still optimistic. And I get it. You got to answer these questions and you got to be careful how you answer them. But he did say, we are not the team I believe we're going to be once February and March hit, but I do like our chances. So Chandler, I suspect that means he's expecting some sort of a trade, that this team will look slightly different.
I think they're exactly where we thought they'd be, right? I don't know where the confusion is. They're kind of a middle of the pack team. They've went on some nice little runs. Anthony Davis has been fantastic for the most part. And LeBron, the fact that he's even this productive this later in his career, it has been impressive. But the Dorian Finney-Smith move, I like it just because I do feel like D'Angelo Russell just wasn't the right fit there from jump. He was kind of the doghouse guy from JJ Redick, and you can't have too many 3 and D players like Dorian Finney-Smith, who I love, I don't think that was the move that, oh, okay, now the Lakers are a contender. That didn't really move the needle like that. He's a great building block. He's a great role player for this team. But yeah, everyone knows there's still a star piece away from kind of being that contending team. LeBron James, you can't expect him to carry the load. He shouldn't even really be a part of the big two, big three at this point of his career. That's not fair to anybody. And Anthony Davis, you have to factor in that he's going to miss some games. He's going to be banged up sometimes, but when he's on the court, he's been great. And Austin, I love Austin Reeves. I love Rui. I love Dorian Finney-Smith. But these guys, they need a third, like the Donovan Mitchell name last year, like that they need someone of that caliber, I think, at this point of those guys' career to actually put themselves in contender as early as this year, because the West is very good. The West is deep. There's all these new young teams like the Houston Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Spurs, who are in the play-in right now. Like there's so many good teams. So I just think they're in the middle of the pack towards the bottom. And I think that's right where we thought they'd be.
Did we bet that the Spurs would make the play-in or the playoffs? Which